We came to run up a bag today. We came to run up a bag today. Yo, 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 what is going on YouTube? It is Karma Speaks back with another video. We are reacting to why Gen Z is rejecting corporate life for blue collar careers, which is crazy. I've worked blue collar before. I'm never going back. If I'm doing anything, I gotta keep my hands clean. I gotta keep them soft, and I gotta keep them moisturized. I ain't doing nothing blue collar ever again. Just the physical pain that I went through, because the moments that I did blue collar, it was just the most like terrible situations. Meaning the one that I did up here in New York, it was during winter time, and I had to take the bus, so I would have to get up at like 4 a.m. in the morning, get ready, eat a boiled egg, and then be on the bus for like an hour and a half, or wait outside for 30 minutes, get on the bus for about an hour or whatever, and then walk to work from there. And, it was in a warehouse where the warehouse was cold. Second one was actually in the complete opposite, where it was in Alabama. And I would have a ride there from my dad, but it was 100-degree heat, and then I would have to walk 5 miles on some train tracks from my job to my dad's job in Alabama, and then I would take the car from there to the house. And that was a whole nother like shit show, pardon my tongue. And like, blue collar, it's not for me, especially for the pay, like depending on what you do. Like if you're really in blue collar, like oil rig worker, or you're really construction, that's cool. I was doing temp stuff, so I'm sitting there getting 16 an hour, which is like, yeah, no, I'm not fucking doing all that for $16 an hour. That's not even, I'm killing myself for a damn near McDonald's meal. I'm not doing that. Anyways, let's get into Megan. I think her name is Lou. Megan Lou's video. Let's see.
Gen Z might actually be cooked. Right now, 75% of employers are struggling to fill job vacancies. And this is because Gen Zers.
First off, I admire people who really take time to do their videos like that, like with the editing and everything. I used to do that, but it's a lot. I wonder if she edits her own stuff, but it's definitely a lot to do that. So yeah.
Zers are rejecting the high-end desk jobs for the more traditional trade professions, which we can see from the huge plummet of high-level college degrees being pursued by the new generation right now. But why are they doing this? You might think they're making a mistake until you see this Microsoft study I'm about to show you. Microsoft studied 200,000 AI applications to map out which careers are actually AI-proof, and let's just say your desk job might be in more danger than you thought. And I can personally attest to this because I have held 3 different jobs in tech in the past 5 years, and most of those companies I've been at have had to pivot or go under completely since the AI boom. I've also partnered with a lot of the companies that are building the AI technologies that are shaping our future today, so I am going to give you the inside scoop.
Ain't shit safe from AI. Ain't shit safe from AI. Yo, look, I have a love-hate relationship with AI because I utilize it in a lot of stuff, but I don't like that it's taking jobs away from people. I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like there should be regulations with that, but I love how convenient it is. Like anything that I need, AI's got it. But I hate that it's taking jobs away from people. So it's holding people back from running out this bag, man.
On what all of this means for your career. So let's get into it. So here's what Microsoft did. They analyzed 200,000 anonymized conversations between users and Microsoft Bing Copilot to understand which jobs AI is actually impacting. Not which jobs might be impacted in some theoretical future, but which jobs people are already using AI to do right now. And the results, they should make every white collar worker pay attention right now. The highest AI applicability scores, meaning the jobs most likely to be affected by AI, were found in knowledge work occupation groups such as computer and mathematical, office and administrative support, and sales roles. Let me say that again. Computer jobs, office jobs, and sales jobs. The exact careers that we have been told are the safe ones, the ones that you went to college for, the ones that you might be working in right now. Here is the specific list of occupations with the highest AI risk according to this study. Interpreters and translators, customer service representatives, sales reps, writers and authors, telemarketers, brokerage clerks, and even, here's the kicker, data scientists and web developers. These aren't most.
When you say sales representatives, are we talking like car sales, realtor, or are we talking like software sales? Like what does that mean, sales representative? And how does AI replace a sales representative? Like, do you mean you could have just used the fucking website to sell something? Because I mean that's something that I actually think is so weird, right? If you don't know, a consumer can't purchase something like a vehicle directly from the manufacturer. You have to go to a, authorized dealer or whatever it is, like a Mazda dealership or a Toyota dealership. You got to go there. You can't just go to Mazda or Toyota directly and say, "Hey, can I buy this?" and then, you ship it. No, you got to go through the dealer. So when she says sales, like sales representative, what does that mean? Like, is there a different type of representative that, like, I'm not getting? And I feel like we should have always been able to do things without a representative in the first place.
Low skill jobs. These are professional careers that require degrees, certifications, years of experience, and AI is already doing them. The most common work activities people use AI for involve gathering information and writing, which are performed most successfully by AI. If your job involves researching information, writing reports, analyzing data, or communicating with customers, which describes like 80% of corporate jobs out there, you are in the danger zone. Now, on the flip side, occupations with the lowest AI applicability scores include those requiring physically working with people, operating machinery, and manual labor. So nursing assistants, HVAC technicians, electricians, plumbers, roofers, the jobs that require you to actually be there in person with your hands, solving real physical problems. So basically, Gen Z saw the writing on the wall before the rest of us did. And if you are ignoring what they're telling us, then you are about to make a huge mistake. Okay, now let's talk about the
I think for a yearly physical, I would prefer AI do my yearly physical than a nurse or a doctor. Because every year with my yearly physical, I get severely uncomfortable when they ask to play with my balls. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I get severely uncomfortable with it. That is super, like, inappropriate, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I get uncomfortable. Like, I'd rather have AI do that than a person do it, you know? And I haven't been in like probably 2 years at this point. I gotta go get a physical like ASAP. But like, yeah, that's one thing that I would rather AI do. Everything else, like AI could be like, I don't want AI to be a nurse, but like for that portion of it, I think I'd rather that.
economics for a second here because this is where it gets really interesting. According to the Education Data Initiative, the average 4-year college degree costs over $104,000 when you include tuition, room, and board. 4 years of your life, zero income,
Stay home. Stay home.
6 figures of costs. How does that make sense? Now, compare that to trade programs. Many apprenticeships actually pay you while you learn. Even if you go to trade school, you are typically spending only $10,000 to $30,000 total, and you are done in under 2 years. Now, here's where it really diverges between these two options. The Bureau of Labor Statistics shows electricians and plumbers are earning median wages over $61,000 a year. That's just the median. Experienced tradespeople commonly earn between $75,000 to $100,000 or more, especially once they go independent. Meanwhile, most college grads outside of engineering and tech, they are starting at $50,000 to $58,000 a year after spending 4 years and $100,000 to get there. The trade worker has been earning money for 4 years by the time the college grad even gets their first paycheck. So do that math. But it's not just about money, because here's my main takeaway from that Microsoft study. AI can't wire a house. It can't fix a burst pipe at 2 a.m. It can't install an HVAC system, right? Because here's what actually makes you valuable in today's world. Physical presence plus technical expertise plus problem solving equals AI resistant work. So the question you need to be asking yourself is, what parts of your white collar job fit that formula? Now, I know what you're thinking. I am already in a corporate career. I'm not going to throw away.
When did she change her setup? She was by a computer at first. I don't know when that happened, but I'm just now noticing it. Um, I don't. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think any blue collar job or the common ones are worth it unless you're, self-employed with it. Like you could be in any union that you want to be in. My uncle, he's an electrician, and my grandfather was too, and they, work for the union, and they run up a bag too. I'm sure he gets paid close to 6 figures, if not 6 figures. But truth be told, I really don't think it's worth it unless you're doing it like, working for yourself because that's where the real money's made. That's where the real money's made. Like if you are self-employed, you make so much more money. There was a time where I was offered a job from a production company to basically be a videographer, and they offered me right around $50,000. And at that point, I kind of was just like getting started in my business, but I bullshitted my way into it. And I was like, yeah, 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 let me hear the offer. I heard the offer. I thought about it for like 2 weeks. I didn't even message them back. I was an asshole. And I eventually said no. And I wasn't even making that much money at that point, and I didn't have a car. But shortly thereafter, I started making that much money. I got the car. And then less than a year later, that car broke down, got a new car, like 2025 type car, and ran up a bag. And now, doing the whole make 100K a year, almost got 100K saved, which is crazy. And it's like, if I had taken that job, man, they would have been abusing me. They would have been abusing me. I wouldn't have ran up a bag like that. I would have just been typical, fucking broke 22-year-old, 60 up or 50K. That's like barely 4 grand a month. I would have been taking home like 3,500 or 3,000 a month. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, I'm sure at the time I would have been hella grateful, but like, yo, I'm over here pulling in like 12K some months, like why would I want to no, so none of those trades are worth it unless you're really running up a bag on your own. I mean, it's cool, for a time when you're learning and getting your feet wet in the industry. But as soon as you get the confidence to, when you feel like you know what you're doing for real, man, leave that shit. Start your own thing.
Years of my education and experience to become a plumber, and I'm not suggesting you should, but you need to understand what trade workers have that you might not. 1. Tangible, demonstratable skills that clients can see and immediately value. 2. Direct relationships that aren't abstracted through corporate bureaucracy. When you are a plumber, your reputation is your reputation, not your company's. And then 3. Skills that transfer across employers and industries. An electrician can work for a company, they can go independent, move cities, switch to industrial or residential, but their core skill stays valuable through it all. Can you say the same thing about your corporate role? Those 3 traits of tangible skills, direct relationships, and portable expertise are exactly what makes blue-collar work AI resistant. But here is the good news. You can build all 3 of these protections into your white-collar job without quitting your job. So let me show you how. You don't have to quit your job and go to trade school, but you do need to adopt what I am calling the blue-collar mindset within your white-collar career. Remember those 3 traits we just talked about? We are going to build each one into your professional life. And here's what that means. My first tip is to become a specialist, not a generalist. Trades succeed through deep expertise. Nobody hires a person who knows some stuff about electricity, right? They hire a licensed electrician with specific certifications. And you need to have the same level of specialized expertise in your field. So for example, if you are a marketer, don't just be a marketer. Be the B2B SaaS demand gen specialist who's generated 50 million in pipeline for cybersecurity companies. That specificity is what gets you hired. And my second tip, build client relationships, not just deliverables. Plumbers retain customers through trust, reliability, personal reputation. So how much of your corporate work is relationship-based versus task-based? Because tasks can definitely be automated. Relationships can't. Literally this week, I want you to take on one project that forces you into direct client or stakeholder interaction. Volunteer for that presentation. Take that difficult client call. Have that in-person meeting. You want to start building your can't be automated resume. My third tip here is to develop tangible skills that require human judgment. Here's what Microsoft found that is really interesting. In 40%.
All right, we're gonna leave it at that. She's definitely giving some good advice. She's giving some good advice. One thing that I noticed that, it's kind of weird, or not weird, but she's talking about blue collar, but she's a woman. And not saying that women can't, be blue collar at all, but you don't see it every day. You usually see women being teachers and shit. So like that was very interesting that she has, I guess, the perspective or even the thought of blue collar and versus white collar and AI and shit, because most women avoid blue collar like it's the fucking plague. So like that's very interesting. that she made a whole video on it, and a very well put together video at that. But yeah, this lady, yeah, she's running up her bag. I'm gonna like this video. um, but yeah, man, I mean, if you're in any of those like industries, like she said, that is at risk, honestly, I wouldn't even, she's talking about you could do this to secure your position. I would just try to find another way to run up a bag. I don't even care. I wouldn't even entertain it. I'm like, look, AI kind of taking over. If they not, you gotta assume that they're not gonna put any regulations in place really for us so that you have job security. You got to run up a bag a different way, do some entrepreneurial ventures, do whatever you got to, but you know, find a way to run up a bag on your own so you're not so dependent on a job. Uh I don't want to say codependent, more like yeah, you're just dependent. You're just dependent on a job because how many employers really need you? Not many. I'll tell you that much. Um, but yeah, man, this is a really good video. Very, very impressed or whatever. Um, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Gonna leave this lady's video down in the description. Let me know what you think. Show her some love. But yeah, appreciate anybody that watched this. Peace.